Hello everybody, Eliott5891 here to finish up this tutorial for cruel piano keys here. When we last left off, we had solved number 3 on this particular problem, and I left the other 3 up for the viewer to work on. So let's go ahead and go over these 3 real quick, and then we'll cover a few more things about this module and wrap up. Let's do number 2 first. As you go through number 2, we'll look through our symbols in order. Do we have breathe and turn? No. Sharp or double sharp? Yes. Empty port plate? No. Next row. Fermata or down bow? No. Clef and no. Cut or common time? Yes. Serial has one more vowels? Yes. This rule should look familiar. This is the same one we used for number 3. Retrograde the significant number of digits. That's 0. So we're going to take sequence 0, retrograde it or reverse it, transpose it down by 3 semitones. Going to give us the same answer we had for number 3. So it's going to give us F sharp, C, C sharp. I think I hit that. Echo, alpha sharp, G, G sharp, A, F, D sharp, B, D. Next up, let's look at number 4. We have breathe and turn, no. Sharp or double sharp, yes, but no empty port plate. Fermata or down bow, no. Clef and, ooh, this one I don't see come up a whole lot actually. Clef and semiquaver, true. 2 or more port plates, also true. So we're going to use this one. It's a retrograde again, so we've had a few of those. And we're going to look up 9 minus the number of unlit indicators. If you'll look, we don't have any unlit indicators, so 9 minus 0 is 9. So our lookup index is 9. So we're going to do this one in retrograde. As opposed to typing it out and reverse it, I'm just going to read it backwards. So E, A, G, F, and so on, and we'll punch it in. So as the expert, we would tell our diffuser notes are echo, alpha, golf, foxtrot, alpha sharp, foxtrot sharp, Charlie sharp, delta, bravo, Charlie, golf sharp, delta sharp. Wham bam, easy peasy. Last up, number 1. Breathe and turn, no. Sharp or double sharp, well, we know we don't have the port plate. Fermata or down bow, yes. 2 or more of a certain type of port. 2 or more of any port, that's what it means. Duplicate ports. We do not have duplicate ports, so we'll move on. Clef and semiquaver, no. Common or cut, no. Natural or mordant, no. Flat or crotchet, yes. Indicator with no vowels. And we don't have that, unfortunately, so we keep going. Down bow or semiquaver. We do have down bow. Less than 2 ports. Nope. Got more than that. Breathe or double sharp. Yes. No other requirements. We have a winner. Prime 5. So we'll up the 5th one. We're going to do a prime, so we're just going to do it as written. Charlie, delta sharp, F sharp, D, F, C sharp. And something I haven't shown, if you mess up, you have to start the sequence again from the beginning, just like regular piano keys. So let's do that again. D sharp, F sharp, D, F, C sharp, B, A, G, A sharp, E, G sharp. And that gets to that set of questions. Now you'll notice I got to the very bottom of this list. Had I not been able to fill out this one, if none of the rules apply from that page, then you're going to go to piano keys, use its manual instead, and play whatever it gives you. Which means you'll have a familiar or a more familiar tune. Which can be a relief sometimes, depending on what you might get otherwise in cruel piano. So we're going to do one more. I'll blank the screen, give it to you, and let you figure out what, if anything, you want to do with it. But before I do, let's talk about a couple other cases that we've not really looked at, or a couple items of import. The first up is this particular transformation here, RI. We know R is retrograde, we know I is inverse. The catch is the order you do them kind of matters. For retrograde inverse, and it specifies here on the next page, you're going to do the inverse, and then you're going to retrograde it. So the example gives, if you had A, B, C, D, E, you're going to take the inverse, give you that, and then you're going to do it backwards. So retrograde inverse is you take the retrograde of the inverse. So you inverse first, then retrograde. That's an important one. Comes up semi-frequently, more often than you'd think with just with that requirement. So I wanted to cover that. Secondly, and I kind of showed what happens when you get a strike. What I haven't gone over is what happens if your condition changes. You'll most commonly see this with this particular rule here. You're going to do prime, but you're going to transpose down by x semitones, where x is the number of minutes remaining. What if you punch this in at, say, 4:03? You get 3-4 notes in, and then the clock changes. Well, if you get stuck in that kind of tricky situation, where your answer has changed mid-submission, then you're going to find the new sequence, and you're going to continue from the spot you left off. So let's say, for example, we're working on I've got 5 highlighted. So let's say we're doing this one, and let's, for simplicity's sake, let's say we're at 12 minutes. So shifting down by 12 doesn't change anything. And then, as we're punching in our answer, we get through C sharp, and then it clicks over to 11 minutes. Well, now what? Well, I've got to recalculate. I've got to now go down 11 semitones, which is the same as going up 1 semitone symmetrically. So that would give us this. And since we've gotten to this point, since we've gotten the first 6 notes in, we're going to continue this one at the 7th note. So if we get through those first 6 up to C sharp, clock changes. We need to change it to 11 minutes left, which is this sequence. We're going to punch in from here on. That is very counterintuitive to a lot of people. Most people think, oh, answers change, need to start over. Or I need to finish what I'd started originally. No, it's find your new thing and pick up numerically where you left off in the number of steps. That, I have found, is probably what gives people the most trouble with this module, if I had to specify down to one particular thing. So, be aware of that as you go. I bring this up for the next one. Let's assume that if we do have one where we want to shift up or down semitones based on the number of minutes, then we are going to work on a basis of time being, let's say 54. 54 minutes will be left. Alright, so let's blank the screen for a moment. I'm going to start up one more bomb. I'll give it to you as I would as a normal diffuser. You can pause, work on it for a little bit, and then we'll take a look at some of these. Edgework wise, we have a lit SND and 4 port plates. One is empty, the others contain a parallel port, a serial port, a PS2 port, an RCA port, and 2 RJ45 ports. We have a serial number of Papa 83 Romeo Charlie 5. The 4 cruel piano problems we have. Number 1, down bow, cut time, common time, crotchet rest. Number 2, crotchet, double sharp, breve, natural. Number 3, crotchet, mordant, semiquaver, breve. Number 4, down bow, semiquaver, mordant, double sharp. Based on that, and working on the assumption that we're going to punch in answers at 54 minutes, if it happens to be relevant, go ahead and see what you get for some of these. Go ahead and pause if you need the time, and then come back and we'll take a look. Alright, so let's see how you did. My clock's currently at 58 minutes, so if we do have one that's time related, we'll hit it toward the, we'll punch it in a little late. Let's start with number 1. Breve and turn, no. Sharp or double sharp, no. There's a down bow. 2 or more of a certain type of port. We do have duplicate RJ ports. So our lookup is going to be the least significant digit of number of completed modules. That's 0. We've solved none. And we're going to take the inverse of it. Everyone's favorite function is the inverse. So, we're starting at F, so let's go ahead and write the notes out from F onward. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and then we're back to F. And now let's punch them in again. I'll kind of work backwards. F, E, D sharp, D, C sharp, C, B, A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, F. I just kind of read the top line backwards to get my second line here. So this is going to be our convert table. And as opposed to writing out the original, I'm just going to look at the original and convert. So for our original sequence, it is actually, I can copy and paste this. Let's see. Aha, victory. So this is our sequence 0. We're going to take the inverse. F stays in F. D becomes G sharp. F sharp becomes E. G sharp becomes D. C becomes A sharp. Notice I intentionally did it upside down or backwards because it doesn't matter. It's a perfect. It's a one-to-one mapping. A sharp is C. C sharp is A. G is D sharp. E is F sharp. D sharp is G. A is C sharp. So there's our answer. So we're going to tell our lucky diffuser that his answer is Foxtrot, Golf sharp, Echo, Delta, Alpha sharp, Bravo, Charlie, Alpha, Delta sharp, Foxtrot sharp, Golf, Charlie sharp. It's one down. Let's look at number 2. Let's leave this just in case we need to come back to it. Breve and turn, no. Sharp or double sharp, yes. Empty port plate, yes. So in this one, there's that number of minutes remaining. Let's see where we're at time-wise. 55, perfect. Lookup index number of battery holders. We have 0, so we're again starting with the prime sequence. And we're going to shift it up. We said 54 minutes. Remember, it's modulo 12, so 54 is the same as 42, same as 30, same as 18, same as 6. So we're going to shift everything 6 tones. So here's my notes normally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since it's symmetrical right there. That's going to be shifting everything down by 6, which is the same as shifting it up by 6. Are we ready to punch in? Yes. So, instead of F, we're going to have B, C. Wait, this is not correct. So F becomes B, D becomes G sharp, F sharp becomes C. G sharp is D. C becomes F sharp. B becomes F. A sharp becomes E. C sharp becomes G. G becomes C sharp. E becomes A sharp. What happened? We ran through the clock too quick. We didn't punch in quick enough. I'm going to refrain from punching it again if you actually worked on it at the time I suggested. You would have, finished up the sequence. But for the sake of completion and proper verification and testing, this was our prime sequence. So we map, F becomes B, and this is what I was doing out loud. D becomes G sharp, F sharp becomes C, G sharp becomes D, C becomes F sharp, B becomes F, A sharp is E, C sharp is G. Come on, space out for me. Perfect. G becomes C sharp, E becomes A sharp, D sharp becomes A, and A becomes D sharp. So this is what you should have gotten for your answer if you'd worked that one out. Like I say, I don't feel like trying to play chase the clock. As much as I do like this classroom, the clock being up there makes it a little hard to pull off things like cruel piano. So, something to be aware of if you're diffusing it is kind of keep an eye on the clock, especially if this rule kicks in. So this is what you should have gotten for number 2. Number 4, breathe and turn, no. But there's the double sharp again. Double sharp, empty port plate. Number 4 is going to be the same answer as number 2. It's going to be sequence 0, transposed down by 6 if you went by the 54 I said, or whatever we happen to be at. Now I'm not going to do it, but I think I did mention this in the first one. A lot of people will try to get the transposed down by 0. That way it's just the prime sequence. There's no actual calculation involved. 0 minutes is the same as 12, 24, 36, 48. So if I got this down to 48 minutes, it would just be a matter of punching in this prime sequence here to solve number 2 and number 4. But let's finish up number 3. Number 3, breathe and turn, no. No sharps this time. Fermata or down bow, nope. Clef, nope. Common or cut, nope. Natural or mordant, we do have mordant. Even number battery, 0 is even. So we have this one. We get more semitone shifting. Lookup index, is there a DVI present? No, that was the one port we didn't have, so we're going to look up number 3. This one here. We're taking it prime, but then we're going up X semitones, where X is the number of ports. We have 6 ports, so we're again doing a shift of 6 semitones. 6 semitones is as I mentioned earlier, the symmetrical shift. Up 6, down 6 gives you the same notes in terms of letters. It's not musically the same. So we'll write everything out. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp. There's no B sharp. C sharp, D sharp. We want to go down 6, so E is going to become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A sharp. E becomes A sharp. We'll copy the end of the list. Symmetry is nice. So here's our prime sequence. Let's convert. E becomes A sharp. D sharp becomes A. D becomes G sharp. And it's just a matter of looking these up in the little quick table we sketched together. And you don't have to do a table. Maybe you can do this conversion a little quicker in your head than I'm doing it like this. Lots of people can. And if you can't, it's a good skill to have. It makes this a lot quicker. Instead of having to write out that and then tell a diffuser our answer, which is going to be A sharp, A, G sharp, C, B, E, D, G, F sharp, F, C sharp, D sharp. Oh, we missed 48 minutes. So that's okay. We'll not bother putting these in. We'll just go ahead and take the strikes, call it a day. And that's going to wrap up what I want to show for Cruel Piano. This one, a lot of people are scared of this one. It was around for a long time. Nobody wanted to touch it. I think a lot of people are still kind of a little worried about it. It's not bad, though. Definitely, take a little time to practice it, and you should not have any major issues with it. Just a matter of taking your time, just like in piano keys. Being able to do the inverse is really key. Understanding RI means inverse, then retrograde, and keeping an eye on the clock when it becomes relevant. Those are the main things that I've seen cause people problems. Those are the main things I suggest that you take away from this to be on the lookout for. Anyway, though, that's it for me for this one. Thank you so much for watching this long 2-part episode. Appreciate your viewing. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or on the other video, as always. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and don't explode. Bye, guys.